Whatever your cake struggles are, from smooth frosting to bulges, piping disasters, or dull colours, good news. All of these are fixable. Use these 10 practical ways to improve your cake decorating skills in 2026. First, although piping onto cakes can add height and texture, it can also push down and cause bulges, either the filling bulging out between the cake layers, or on this cake, when I spin it, you'll see the frosting bulging out around the top under the weight of this piping. To avoid this, chill the cake in the fridge for 30 minutes before piping, so that the frosting firms up and holds its shape when you add the weight of piping on top. This keeps the sides of the cake straight and smooth. If piping is a challenge for you, instead of piping straight onto the cake and then needing to scrape it off, trace around your cake pan onto parchment or wax paper and pipe into that ring instead, and then put your piping in the freezer for 10 minutes to chill and set. Now you can lift up your favourite piping and press it onto your cake, and choose only your favourite pipe details to use, and you'll have no regrets about the results. Number 3, try some new flavours. I love my chocolate and vanilla cakes, but try chocolate chip cookie dough or coconut milk cake, or just add a different ingredient to flavour your buttercream, like lemon curd, freeze-dried strawberries, caramel, crushed Oreo cookies. You'll find all of these recipes on BritishGirlBakes.com. Smooth frosting is one of the most common cake struggles people ask me about. Get rid of air bubbles and make your frosting insanely smooth using a hairdryer, a blowtorch, or hot water on your cake scraper. Or perfect the consistency of your buttercream with a microwave. And improve your technique by switching the angle you're holding your cake comb, or the material of your cake comb, or how high you spread the frosting onto your cakes. Join my YouTube Cake Studio membership to get exclusive access to my Perfectly Smooth Frosting course for all of my tips and tricks. For neat messages on your cakes, outline the letters with a toothpick first to make sure that the message is centered and that it fits on your cake. And chill your cake before piping so that you can touch up any mistakes with the toothpick without damaging the frosting underneath. If you find yourself running out of time to bake and frost and decorate cakes, great news, you can freeze them in between steps so that you can spread out the work between different days or even weeks. After baking cakes and letting them cool, wrap them twice in cling film or saran wrap and then move them to the freezer. Or you can assemble and even frost cakes before freezing. Put them into the freezer uncovered first for about an hour to set the frosting, and then wrap in 2 layers of plastic wrap and put the cake back into the freezer for up to 2 months. Move it to the fridge the night before you'll be ready to work on it, so that it thaws gradually. And then you can spend all of your time decorating without rushing, and I can assure you I've done taste tests, and previously frozen cake and buttercream will taste just as good as when they were freshly made, as long as you've wrapped and thawed them properly. Always let cakes come to room temperature before serving for the best texture and flavour. Now let's talk about colouring buttercream. If you're trying to get a deep, vibrant colour like red or navy, you don't need to use a whole bottle of food colouring. Start by tinting your buttercream lighter than the colour you want, and then microwave it. 5 seconds for a small bowl or 10 seconds for a larger one. Melting the butter in the buttercream deepens the colour instantly, but of course melted buttercream is not great for frosting or piping, so pop it into the freezer for 5 minutes, and the cold will bring it back to the right consistency and make the colour even darker. If you rest it for an hour or 2, you'll see it develop even more. This is a great way to get bold colours without the nasty taste of too much food colouring. Look how much brighter this red buttercream has become, it's perfect. For any cake decorating skills that use a piping bag, dotted designs, piped borders, messages, flowers. If your piping starts out neat, but starts to lose its shape and look blobby, the warmth of your hands is melting your buttercream. Put the piping bag in the freezer, set a timer for 1 minute, and then continue, and your colder buttercream will be stiffer and hold its shape much better as you pipe. Lots of cake decorating techniques need buttercream frosting to be cold and firm, like stenciling for example. And I recommend chilling cakes before piping too. For these techniques, work in a cold room to prevent condensation. Condensation droplets can cause colours to run and stain the cake's frosting. Condensation happens with a big difference in temperature, for example when you move a cake from the fridge to a warm room. The presentation of your cakes is usually the first impression, so make it a good one. You can buy boxes in packets of 10 really affordably. I get mine on Amazon. And for taller cakes, use the same boxes, but make them taller using this hack. Cut 2 diagonal slits into the side of the lid, the shorter the better. And do the same on the opposite side. Now push the middle flap inside the box and leave the rest on the outside of the box on both sides. And this will raise the lid up high enough to fit over your tall cakes and tier cakes. These 10 simple hacks will improve your cake decorating skills and help you avoid some of the most common mistakes. To dive deeper and learn hundreds of cake decorating tips and techniques, visit my cake school on BritishGirlBakes.com. I'll see you there!